It's much easier to trust God when you have a clear vision from what God has called you to do. God called us to go to Korea, and so we needed to trust Him for that money. And so one day, I typed up a voucher on the Bank of Heaven for the money that we were going to need for this trip. I think it was $5,000 is what we needed to go to Korea. And so I wrote, I hereby request from the Bank of Heaven $5,000 for this trip to Korea. And down at the bottom, where the signature goes, I wrote Jesus Christ. Signs this. So that was the claim, and I didn't know if to hold it up or what do you do with it, where do I mail it to? And so we were going down to Atlanta for a conference coming up, and we stayed over in Chattanooga on the way down. Some old friends of ours there, and we were having dinner with them, and they said, well, what's the Lord been teaching you these days? And so I told the story just very honestly and straightforwardly. And so when I finished, even the thing about requisitioning the money and all, our host said, he exchanged a glance with his wife, and then he said, well, we're in a church that's a very unusual situation here in Chattanooga. They don't want our money. So they just said, put the money aside for God, and whenever He speaks to you about something you should do with that money, give it. They said, we'd like to give a tithe of the first $500, but it was just like the Lord confirming that this is exactly what He wanted us to do. And so I think there was one person that I approached to be part of this trip, one person who said no. Everybody else that I talked to said yes. And so our faith grew so much, just seeing Him provide for us. And when you start off with a clear vision from God of what He wants you to do, and then you can clearly communicate that to the people who are around you, and we turn it all over to you, God, and we give ourselves and everything that we're ever going to have. We give that to you, except it was on the Bank of Heaven.